Developed by Raven Software and published by Activision, Singularity is an action horror sci-fi conspiracy thriller powered by a 3-liter Unreal Engine. Released in late June of 2010, the title currently enjoys a very positive on Steam, a 4.1 out of 5 on GOG, and a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Directed by Michael McCormick and written by Mark Guggenheim, Lindsay Allen, and Emily Silver, Singularity explores Cold War-era anxiety through the lens of science fiction horror, successfully capturing the confusion and conundrum of time travel in all its confounding glory. The voice acting is perfectly acceptable. The game stars Nolan North as Captain James Devlin, Carrie Walgren as Catherine Novikova, Steve Bloom as Nikolai Demichev, and Graham McTavish as Viktor Borisov. The story is actually quite interesting, though it was never meant to be taken too seriously. Singularity is an action-packed summer blockbuster with a runtime of only 7 hours. The idea is to run and gun and have fun, though that's not to say the game won't test the player's wits from time to time. Singularity's reception has often been described as positive, though it wasn't really. Upon its release, game journalists do what they do best. That is, they completely missed the point and succeeded in failing to understand what this game was trying to do. Since then, Singularity has risen to more than a mere cult classic. It's adored the world over by serious fans of shooters from all walks of life. You'll have to just trust me, bro. The citation for that last statement is in the mail. Before Raven Software decided to stop making good games so they could work on Call of Duty, they were indeed talented artists, and Singularity is living proof that video games used to be fun to play and nice to look at. Raven was responsible for such classics as Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, Cyclones, and the Heretic Hexen series, among others. Of course, all of these titles are certainly still playable. I just happen to think Singularity looks especially good in 4K and is just as enjoyable today as it was the day it launched. Though I originally bought my copy many years ago, I did install it through the GOG Galaxy app in order to test its functionality before singing its praises in a YouTube video. My system specs are in the description for those that care to have a look. The game runs very well for me without any tweaks or troubleshooting, though I did have to uninstall it and reinstall it due to regular crashing the first time around. I blame NVIDIA's drivers for that more than anything else, though. Even if they're not to blame, I'm still salty over the ridiculously shitty state of NVIDIA at the moment. In all honesty, I probably should have restarted my computer before launching the game, as I was instructed to do. In any case, after rolling back my drivers, reinstalling the game, and restarting my PC, I've played through the campaign several times without incident, while trying to decide what kind of video I wanted to do concerning it. In the end, I decided to do a recommendation-style video for those that might not be familiar with the title. If you are as sick of the sorry state of gaming as I am, I will be uploading videos from time to time recommending older classics for younger players to discover and enjoy, or for older players to rediscover and enjoy again in the event they may have forgotten about them. Having said that, Singularity seems like a perfectly reasonable place to start. The production value is exceptional, featuring high-quality cinematic cutscenes, A-list voice acting, kick-ass visual effects, and somewhat realistic physics. However, it does fall a bit short as far as the audio is concerned. The guns sound very weak and don't pack quite the punch players have come to expect. The volume of NPC dialogue can be a bit low at times. There are 2 strange glitches that will undoubtedly occur throughout the campaign. Neither of them are game-breaking or even annoying, and neither of them have any effect on the gameplay itself. Mods for this game are somewhat limited, but aren't very impressive anyway, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Singularity is perfectly enjoyable without them. I think it still looks fantastic after all these years, and while I did play at 4K, it looks very good at both 1080p and 1440p as well. In spite of celebrating its quinceañera this year, Singularity is a fine addition to any library and is certainly worth every penny of $10. And with a bit of luck, maybe we'll see it added to the preservation program soon. After a lengthy 2-minute intro, players sit through yet another shorter intro before being dumped on a dock with nothing but the clothes on their back. Shortly thereafter, the shit hits the fan when time itself becomes unstable and our protagonist must attempt to correct undesirable alterations to the timeline. The story centers around certain anomalous events having recently occurred on the Russian island of Katorga 12. After discovering a new element simply called E99, Russian scientists have begun experimenting with things they don't understand and forces beyond their control. When their research goes awry, opening Pandora's temporal box, it's up to one man to save the world from certain Russian domination. Time is your weapon. Time is your enemy. Time is collapsing. The gunplay is satisfying enough and the game delivers a nice variety of weapons. Players can carry 2 guns of a certain type, including a pistol, a shotgun, an automatic rifle, or a sniper rifle, while having the ability to utilize several temporary special weapons such as grenade and rocket launchers. A few of the game's weapons are modified for use with E99 technology for added interest and entertainment value. In addition to that, players can pick up E99 tech, which serves as in-game currency used to purchase upgrades at various weapon lockers. As players pick up parts and schematics scattered throughout the campaign, additional and more powerful upgrades become available. The game's centerpiece is an apparatus called the TMD, or Time Manipulation Device. Players will need to upgrade the TMD at specific intervals in order to progress through the game's story. This device will allow them to manipulate the age of certain objects, pick them up, maneuver them around, and even throw them. The Time Manipulation Device is useful both in and out of combat and does offer players a bit of freedom to get creative. Its usefulness is somewhat limited, of course, but players who think outside the box will certainly have more fun with it than players that do not. Aside from a few mandatory TMD upgrades, no other upgrades are required, nor are they necessary. The campaign is perfectly manageable at all difficulty settings without the use of weapons upgrades. They're available for those who enjoy them and can be completely ignored by those who do not. The game offers 2 major and 2 minor boss battles along with a variety of lesser enemies including the mutated local plant life, bugs, big scary monsters, little scary monsters, and Russian soldiers. The atmosphere is befitting the story and sometimes even chilling, and while the entire campaign takes place on a small island, Raven have done a fine job of mixing it up when it comes to environments. They've also done a fine job of challenging players in fresh and interesting ways, delivering an experience that never seems to get old. Singularity is a true classic in every sense of the word. It's a game developed by gamers for gamers, and it's a lot of fun to play. And while I'm certainly not in the business of endorsing or advertising video games, I highly recommend this title for those that haven't had the chance to play it, though I would make sure to pick it up on sale. $30 for Singularity is a bit high considering its short runtime and the fact that it was released in 2010. As always, if you made it this far, happy gaming and thanks for watching.